Good afternoon, everybody. John Hunt here from MarketingPlanGuide.com for another edition of our free marketing plan Q&A. We do this every Monday from 3 o'clock to 3:30 Central Time. The purpose for doing this is simply this, to allow you to ask any question relating to creating your marketing plan. Okay, let's move on to our next question, and this is going to get a little technical here, but I love this question because as we speak, I'm currently going through some Google University certification for Google AdWords, and so I'm learning a lot about the insides of Google and how it operates. But the question is, how can I redirect my current website, which is ranked on page 1 of Google at the very top, and use it as a blog instead? And I think, if I understand this question correctly, is perhaps this company has a current website which is doing ranked really well on Google, but they want to move to a blog format instead. So that's the presupposition, and if the person that submitted this this question is on today, you can ask a follow-up if I don't give you the proper answer, or submit a question for a future program. But let's dig into this one. First of all, it's great to have a first page ranking, and you want to protect those as much as you can. But what I've been learning this week, in particularly, the game in Google search is really changing. And actually, coming very soon, there's really not going to be this universal top ranking for keywords. They're kind of changing the Google search algorithm to be very customized for the person who's searching. So if you have been searching for a bunch of things on Google, Google knows what you're searching for, and then let's say you type in a keyword, they're going to start applying that keyword not only to the factors that are associated with that keyword, but also your personal search history on that particular machine. So when someone might have a top ranking for a term that was universal, so to speak, that is really changing now, and this is going to drive the SEO people crazy, because one person may put that search term in and get a different set of top rankings than the other person. So stay tuned to that. I hope to have some trainings on that coming up in the next month or two about how Google is changing, particularly in the search engine ranking of what they do as far as how you get a top ranking. SEO is very hard. Search engine optimization, if you don't know what SEO means, very hard to get. So when you get a top spot on Google, you want to kind of hold on to it. You don't want to lose that spot. So, but let's just say for right now, you first need to understand how Google kind of rewards or awards the ranking of a page. And there's several factors, but the first and foremost thing is relevance. And when we talk about search engine optimization, it's not so much just putting in the right name on the title tag, if you know anything about HTML and some of those other tricky things that the SEO experts talk about. Google is really looking at relevance right now. How closely does that landing page or that website, they call it a landing page, but the website that you have put together match the search query that someone is putting into Google? Relevance is really key, and not only do they have regular the Google bots that are out checking it electronically, they actually have editors that are going through and checking pages. It may not happen to your site right away, but pages are being personally checked by individuals as well. Some of the other things they're looking for on a first page listing, if you got all these things in order, is ease of navigation. When someone comes to your page, do you have clear menu navigation, and do those navigation links have relevance to the search term that was put into the search query? So you've got to understand the search vernacular of your target audience and be able to create that into your website. Transparency is a key, and this is one that's missed by a lot of people. Do you have a terms of service and a privacy policy on your web page there? Because if you don't have that, that's you get marked score against you on that. So big in judging your website is backlinks. And perhaps the person that submitted this question, one of the reasons that you are doing well with your page is that you have a lot of links from other websites pointing to you. That ranks really high in Google, and that gets you bumped up to the top of the page. Another factor is just load time. Is your page bogged down with a bunch of animations and things that make it load really slow? Google does not like that. So anyway, that's kind of understanding the current sense of ranking, but that doesn't say, okay, yeah, obviously the person's doing well with this right now, so they want to keep that ranking, but they want to migrate to the idea of a blog, and there's a number of good reasons for doing that, but here's some of the thoughts as far as specifically how you could do that. The first thing is create your blog as a subsection of that current website, so in a separate folder or menu area. And you want to add that as one of the links on your home page in your main navigation, preferably with a keyword rich. You don't necessarily just want to do blog. You might want to do marketing blog if you're into marketing, or travel blog if you're into travel. Just so you whatever your keyword is, maybe attach that to the word blog and use that as the menu link. Google does like blogs, and blogs do really well, but it's one of those things where a page ranking is really geared to an individual page and not an entire website. The only exception to that is when they look at an individual page, they want to make sure it's part of a larger website that has good relevant content. So a 1 or 2 page website's not going to rank real high versus a 100-page website. The other thing I would do is, once you have that blog set up as a sub folder on your website, what you want to do is encourage your visitors to visit the blog, and make that as a clear objective of that website. Now, again, you don't want to mess with it too much, because then you might be messing with your high page ranking. But you can typically go in and make that a clear thing. Maybe have a large graphic that points people to your blog, if that's the main thing you want them to do as a result of visiting. And we'll talk about that in another question. But you want to encourage the visitor to visit the blog. Okay, then what you want to do is, what I would recommend is build the page ranking for the blog on its own, and not mess with that main home page right now, because there are ways to redirect, and you can go into your website, it's called your HTTP access file, and do redirects. But again, when Google, especially as they build this new searching algorithm, want those pages to be real relevant, and if you have good relevance right now, I wouldn't mess with it. But as you build your blog, you can take and make that get a little bit more SEO friendly. In fact, you could, if you're building it on a WordPress platform, which is what I would recommend, there's several really good SEO plugins for WordPress that allow you to optimize for certain search terms. But you're going to find that your blog and Google as a search really emphasizes more on individual posts. Again, it's individual pages, and just like you might in your website have individual pages that rank differently for different search terms, in your blog you're going to want to rank your different or optimize your different posts for different terms, so that they may rank differently based on that term, because you've got to really focus on specific terms when you go talk about optimization. And then make sure you use backlinks. That's links from your blog back to your current home page. That counts as a backlink. It's also going to help when they're looking at that main site to say, this blog is linking back to the home page. That looks pretty relevant, and it's pretty good, and that's going to help. Not only the menu linking to the blog, but linking from the blog back to the home page is going to help you with backlinking. So those are just some recommendations that I would do. You can probably get a bunch of other things doing it, but I would really start building the blog on its own as a subsection of the website, and start optimizing individual blog posts for their own terms. Unless there's another reason why you want to get rid of that home page. I guess that's how I would look at it today. We do this free marketing plan Q&A every week, 3 to 3:30 p.m. Central Time. marketingplanguide.com/questions is where the replay will be posted, usually within 24 hours. And also, usually within 24 hours, we'll get the link for next week's registration. So if I didn't get to your question this week, make sure you register for next week's program and submit your question in advance, and that'll get it at the front of the queue for our next session. And that link is usually up in a few hours from now, and then the replay is up usually by tomorrow at the latest. But make sure you submit your question and get on next week. Even if you can't make it live next week and you want your question answered, get it submitted in the queue, and you can always watch via replay. We do this free marketing plan Q&A every Monday, 3 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Again, the replay you can find at marketingplanguide.com/questions. We don't do this on holidays, major holidays, but every other Monday in between. So this is John Hunt from marketingplanguide.com saying so long until next Monday.